So we've gotten to a point in the hobby where singles are so valuable, sealed is so valuable, and you have to make, unless you have a ton of money at your disposal, you have to make decisions on, unfortunately, do you want to get sealed product, whether it's for opening, keeping in a closet, because you're a collector or you're an investor, or do you want to open it to try to get this chase card that you have a very low chance of, but you see everybody on Facebook, YouTube, Discords, ripping ships, they're all, they're pulling these cards, and you're like, well, maybe I stand that chance. The card's a $600, $700 card. Card prices are crazy right now. And for me personally, I've had to make the decision that it makes more sense to me in my current situation, and I think a lot of people's circumstances, to buy product. If you watch any of my other videos, I buy one booster box, maybe two booster boxes, Pokemon Center ETBs. I was buying normal ETBs, but like for me, if I can get it for MSRP, great. If I can't get it for MSRP, I'm good just waiting. And that's what I've been doing, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. But I open, a couple packs of new sets just to kind of get a feel of, how am I enjoying the set. Maybe I get lucky, pull a SIR that I want, just pull a cool card, right? But I'm not opening a bunch anymore, unfortunately. And for the foreseeable future, I won't be until we can get back to a semi-normal place. For booster boxes, it's probably not going to happen, for a very long time, if we ever do get back to that point. And I know there's a whole debate about Pokemon raising up MSRP again, but the whole problem is if they do raise up MSRP because of this bubble and everything that's going on, if the market slows down, when the market slows down, if no one's buying the product because nobody cares, and they can't regress and go, okay, we had MSRP at 200 because of this whole market, now it's $150 because it lowers the value of their company. It makes it look like they're securing themselves, and so I think that they're optimally cautious about raising up MSRP again, which they did with Scarlet and Violet. So for me, I've had to make the decision, unfortunately, to get product at MSRP. I'm not paying over MSRP, to get what I can when I can, and to just hold it. And like I said, if I'm lucky enough to grab a booster bundle for MSRP or sleeve packs or anything like that, then I will, of course, open it. But booster boxes, like I said, I think everyone's feeling that right now. I don't think many people, besides like your ripping ships or people who just have a decent amount of income to spend, are just ripping open boxes, unfortunately, which is creating a situation. And I know that I made a video about it, but I think with what Nostalgianomics said is we're in this situation where these, yes, of course, your booster boxes are more expensive. They're normally, and it seems like Pokemon is evolving into more of a Magic, where the booster boxes are continuing to go up in price. And so when you have a booster box that on the secondary market you're opening and it's $300, $350, $400, of course you can't open up a box and the most expensive SIR without including the different rarities and stuff that are going on, like the gold cards, or black and white, the BWRs. You can't have the highest SIR, everyone's favorite SIR's favorite. You can't have it sitting at $60 or $100. Let's go with $100. You can't have it. It doesn't make sense from a profit standpoint. Which, by the way, a product, any sort of collectible, you're obviously taking a gamble. If you're not aware of that, if you're new here to the hobby, yes, there are people that get extremely lucky and they open up 2 packs and they get the best card in the set. But the likelihood of that happening to you is very low. So it's never a smart idea to open up any sort of product. And a little bit of money here and there is fine if you can afford it, but just FYI. Getting back to my point, with booster boxes being more expensive, obviously it doesn't make any sense for people to be opening up products and getting the highest rarity, the best card in the set, and only being able to sell it for $100. You're losing money at that point. You're paying double and you're only able to sell it for $100. Naturally, you have where the cards are going to be more expensive, and that's where we're seeing such a huge price spike with singles. If you look back at the beginning of Scarlet and Violet, even with some of your favorite sets, 151, Paldean Fates, each of those sets, if you look back at them, like the Bubble Mew was like a $30 card. The Charizard was the highest rarity, and it was like $80. Man, those were the days. It's funny because when you're in it, you're like, I'm not gonna pay $80 for a Charizard. I'm not gonna pay $30 for a Bubble Mew. You should have, right? But it's always easier to look back and regret than to actually do the right thing. That's why it's so important. When and if we do have a downshift in this market, we do have a downturn, people are leaving, people are selling just to get out of it because it's no longer, they can turn it around the next day and double their profits, you will see card prices going back down. And that will be the thing too, is the sealed is going to take longer, but the cards, the individual cards, the PSA, the graded cards, those will tank the quickest and the fastest. And with that, I'm able to get some product at MSRP. Obviously, not able to get a bunch of it, but that's okay. Anything at this point is great. And instead of opening it, make that choice, you just put it back, which is fine. If this channel never blows up, the channel, we don't get anywhere really with it. And I'm working a 9-to-5 the rest of my life. And I started, investing recently because I've been around since XY, Sun and Moon. I opened up base set when I was a kid, which everybody opened up base set is for my kids. So when they turn 18, say, here you go, here's a quarter of what I've got. This is yours. You can either continue to have me hold it, you hold it, keep it investing, or you can get a new car or go on a vacation or do whatever you want to do for them to make. So I'm okay with that. Yes, I personally like Pokemon. Will they when they're 18? Probably not. But hopefully I can teach them some things about it. Hopefully Pokemon's continuing to go strong and the market is not overran with a bunch of investor bros, sneakerheads, flippers. And, it's continuing up its trajectory that it's been doing since 2000. And they can have a decent boost to their adult life. So I'm okay with having product and not being able to open it. But I am a singles person. For me, singles, Pokemon is doing so many awesome arts, and you really have to be picky on what arts you get. You can't just go and say, I like the Gardevoir from the new Mega, or I like the Zekrom or the Reshiram or the Hydreigon or the Kyurem or the Keldeo from Black and White, and this card's $100. So every week I'm gonna buy one of these cards, and then they'll go up some, they'll dip some, or the Greninja, there's stuff like that. I can't get those cards. And even Japanese, Greninja's like $200 in Japanese. The Mew is sitting at like $300 in Japanese. I know that there's some PokeTubers or investor bros that they're going into booster boxes in different languages, or they're going and buying Korean or Chinese. And like, I understand that the artwork is supposed to be better, but for me, can't get in English, which English is very expensive right now. And it doesn't make sense in Japanese because it's like $200 for just a raw card. If it was PSA, they always said it's different. But I don't want to pay that money, and I'm not going to pay that money. I am going to wait for whatever happens in this market, the good, the bad, the ugly. And if I miss out on cards, I miss out on cards. The Umbreon, I don't have the from Evolving Skies. I don't have the Lugia from Silver Tempest. I don't have the Giratina from Lost Origin. I don't have these cards, right? But I want them, but they're crazy. They're crazy in Japanese too, so it doesn't make any sense, you know. And those are things that you have to really think about. I don't have unlimited funds for like $500 a month to spend on Pokemon, so I have to be very selective. And I think right now, with the way this market is, I think that's a good thing, to be selective and intentional about what you buy, and not just go, I want this and this and this and this and this because this is going up in price. Be intentional. I think a lot of people aren't doing that right now. They're all in this FOMO and hype, and if I don't buy this right now, it's never going to go back down. If you miss, you miss. It's okay. There's going to be better artworks. I mean, everyone thought that the Umbreon from Prismatic was like this awesome card. It is. I really want that card. Probably am not going to get it, at least short term. Now look, now we have a Charizard, and the Charizard is way better. Like, I don't think anyone will argue, unless their favorite Pokemon's Umbreon. But that card's awesome, and I hope I get lucky enough to get a couple extra packs and I pull it. Otherwise, I'll probably not have that card. But that's okay, because in the long term, I'm going to be getting booster boxes when I can at MSRP. And eventually, that sealed product will be more valuable than that card that I want in any condition. PSA 10, raw, it doesn't matter. And if I want to, I can have some products set aside for me. And if that's what's important to me at that time, I can now switch that into a graded card, or one of these cards that I want instead. Plain option. The thing is, you don't have to care about every single set. You don't have to even like every single set. There's going to be sets eventually that Pokemon does that people hate. But if you get those sets regardless, and you load up when the market is low and nobody wants the product, eventually the market's going to get hot again. Jimmy hasn't been in the hobby for more than 3 months because Pokemon's hot again. I'm going to sell this to him for 3x, 5x the price that I got it for. And I've got a case, 2 cases, 3 cases of it. I'm going to give it to him, and I'm going to be able to then buy this card at PSA 10, or buy this different set, or invest. You know, that's the play with the way the market is. Pokemon is evolving, and I feel like what we're used to is no longer what Pokemon is and what Pokemon will be. I think that the days of $80, $90 booster boxes are behind us. Who knows what the low will be? We may be looking at like 120, which is not awful. It's certainly not like $4.90 a case, but it's a lot better than what everything's going for. But until we hit a low, I see product, booster boxes continuing to go up, not slowing down as far as when they go release. So I wouldn't be surprised, even though Phantasmal Flames is a very small set. Like, I think it's going to be just like Obsidian Flames, except for the pull rates won't be as good as Obsidian Flames. But I think it's going to go like Mega Evolutions dropped to right under 300 for like a day and then pop back up. I don't think we're going to see 300 for Phantasmal Flames. And then who knows about any of these other sets. There's some crazy sets that are potentially going to be coming out here in the next year or so. that have really good potential to just continue to blow this market up. So we'll really have to see. But unfortunately, we're looking at a mini Magic. We're not anywhere close to $500 to $1,000 a collector box, but I think every set that gets released, we're getting closer and closer to that. You have to make decisions right now. And if you don't, that's great for you. Congratulations. If you can get your singles and you can also get all the booster boxes and ETBs that you want, that's awesome. I'm happy for you. But for me personally, I can't do that. And so I'm having to make a decision that's best for me. And, that's all that I can do. So anyways, guys, appreciate you guys watching the video. I'll be back with another one. Peace.